Alright, pal, are you feeling lonely? Do you feel like you're disconnected from society? Do you feel like you lack a connection and some camaraderie? Do you fantasize about being a teenage girl frolicking through the streets with her friends? I fantasize about being a teenage girl frolicking through the streets with her friends all the time. I mean, look at it. It looks awesome. I also fantasize about being a captain of a pirate ship in space. If you've been feeling lonely, you're not alone. I mean, you probably are alone. Why else would you be feeling lonely? But you're not alone in being lonely. According to a study done by the World Health Organization, 1 in 6 people experience loneliness worldwide. 1 in 6 people worldwide. That's 1.5 billion of you. If you're also lonely, why don't you just talk to each other? And it's so bad, people are even dying from it. 100 people die from loneliness every hour. I don't know how that works. Like, how do you die from loneliness? That's 871,000 deaths every single year. And doctors in places like the UK, Canada, and Australia, they're prescribing connections. I don't know how it works, but it sounds freaking dope. Just get me some friends. Hell yeah. I want a goth one with big. We're in a bad state, guys. We're not doing so well. And who's to blame? Loads of people. There's the tech bros that keep us glued to our screens. Our governments who plan cities to be car-centered instead of being pedestrian-friendly. And the economic system we currently have that promotes overworking, individualism, and a me versus them mentality. But mostly it's us, it's me and you. So what do? We can't fix all of these things overnight. Right now there is a growing desire from people to have a authentic connection with others, and we have the tools to do it. And there's nothing stopping us from actually taking time out to establish these relationships or try new things that bring us out of our comfort zone. But we don't, and it's sad, and now we're all sad. That's all going to change right now though, because I'm going to teach you how to establish better connections and make loads of more friends, and hopefully we can escape this loneliness pandemic together. First, we're going to start with you, okay? I'm going to teach you better attitudes. So first up, I'll give you a few steps on how you can improve your personality, okay? How you can be more approachable and friendly, okay? Because it starts with you. And speaking of you, I need you to not be yourself, okay? I know, everyone told you, hey, just be yourself. Look, if yourself was the sort of person that could go out and make a load of friends and meaningful relationships and blah, 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 you wouldn't have clicked on this video. So yourself is not working, okay? So don't be yourself, okay? Keep your weirdness, okay? Keep your weirdness, just improve a little bit. Like guys, like step 1, okay? Be more likable. Look, if people don't like being around you, you're not going to make many connections. So we have to be more likable. There's probably over 1 million articles. I don't know how many YouTube videos with a step-by-step guide on how to be more likable by the way you walk or smile or blah, blah, blah. Look, these guys probably have great advice, and if you follow it, you'll do very well. But being likable really goes down to one thing, which is liking people. It's like in social media, you use Instagram, TikTok, whatever. If you start following other people, they'll start following you back. This is called reciprocal liking. People like people who like them. It's really simple. And this is something that's been studied extensively. Psychologists looked at high schools to find out what made some kids more popular than others and more likable. And what they found was when they asked the question, who do you like? The popular kids were the ones that had the most amount of people that they themselves liked. And this was seen in multiple high schools. People liked these popular kids, and so these kids felt valued and seen by these popular kids, hence why they became so popular and likable. And before you start saying, well, that's kids in high school, things don't work like that as adults. Listen, I've been to college, I was in the military, I worked at a car wash and a film studio, and now in tech. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that not much has changed since high school. So tell someone their hair looks really nice or that their hobby is super interested, because we're all people, we want to be built up, okay? And we're 90% our ego, really. Now, step 2 is be vulnerable. Being liked is easy, but being loved, appreciated, or trusted, these are harder. They require sacrifice and a bit of a risk from your part. To be vulnerable means to let your guard down and to trust someone first with something deep. Maybe it's your past, maybe it's your fears, just even your emotions. Being the first person to open up is an invitation to that other person to open up as well. Because opening up to someone you don't know, it's scary. It's scary to do that with someone you don't know, because what if they make fun of you, right? Or what if they think you're weird in a bad way and they don't want to talk to you anymore, or maybe they'll tell somebody else, and that's why people don't tend to do it. So when you do it first, they're more likely to do the same, and that's when a genuine connection can be made. So just let it all out there, okay? Show off your weirdness. If it doesn't work out for you, then that's their problem, and to be honest with you, they're probably not worth your time. Step 3, the hardest and cringiest step of them all, which is making your first real friend. Which is you. You are your first friend. I know it's cringy, just bear with me, okay? Look, it's very easy for us to be very hard on ourselves a lot of times, especially in this day and age where we're just comparing ourselves to other people all the time. And that's when you need to be your own friend the most, because if you're trying to make a change in yourself and put yourself out there, it's going to be challenging. There's going to be so many times where you're going to get things wrong and maybe look like an idiot. In those moments, being an asshole to yourself is not going to help. You need to be your own friend. You need to be more empathetic to yourself and uplift yourself just like you're going to uplift other people. I think it's just easier to be negative and see the worst in ourselves in general. I think we're very good at that. But let me ask you something. When somebody close to you has come to you and told you that they're not enough, or they're feeling really down, did you agree? Did you tell them, yeah, you're shit? You're going to lift them up. You're going to tell them all the good things about them because you love them and you want to see them do well. I need you to do that same thing for yourself, okay, moving forward. Because that self-belief and self-love, man, it goes a long way. So let's be that person for ourselves moving forward, okay? And look, making more friends and having that social life that you want is going to be so much easier if you're just kinder to yourself. Okay, now that you are no longer yourself, but a more likable person with a kind inner voice, it's time to go out and meet new people in person. So if you're the sort of person who goes out regularly and has a lot of hobbies and sports and all of that good stuff, then the rest of this video isn't going to be for you. So fuck off, basically. But before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And so for those of you left who struggle to go out and meet new people, who get a bit anxious and then ditch out at the last minute or just don't bother at all, this is the part of the video where things get a bit more interesting, okay? Me telling you to just go out and find that hobby and blah, 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 it's not going to work for you. Because if it did, you wouldn't have done it already, and you haven't, therefore, you're not that kind of person. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to force you out, okay? So instead of motivation and self-belief, instead of all that garbage, okay, we're going to be using tried and tested methods, okay? Financial commitments, social pressure, and our parents' favorite, emotional blackmail. Look, the truth is sometimes you're not going to go out, you're not going to do this stuff unless you force yourself. And that's what these tactics are going to do, okay? They're going to force us to go out. They're going to force us to meet new people. And it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80. These hacks still apply, okay? We never leave high school, okay? We're all kids at heart. The only thing that really changes is our hormones and how much money we have. So the first hack to getting a social circle is investing with money, okay? Look, it's very easy to cancel plans or not show up to any of these events when you haven't paid. So find something online, class, workshop, talks, doesn't matter, and pay for it like immediately, okay? Pay now, think later, basically is the name of the game. It should be enough money where it stings. It doesn't have to hurt, it just has to sting. And by sting, I mean it should be something that you can afford to lose, but wouldn't want to lose. And it needs to be non-refundable, okay? No cashbacks, guys, all right? Because it's too easy to cancel. Go into places like Groupon, Airbnb, Eventbrite. They have so many different types of events and workshops, and you could even like learn new skills. Especially Groupon and Airbnb, they do classes and workshops very well. And it's easier to learn with other people because if it's something you've never tried before, you're all going to be really shit at it, which means you can let your guard down, be a bit goofy, and just have fun with it. And I'm going to add to that and say, book something weird. Like life drawing. Life drawing is a good example. There's nothing that breaks it awkward better than just a naked person in the middle of the room while you're trying to draw them. So funny enough about life drawing is I was actually a life drawing model a few years ago. These are drawings of me that other people did. After that class, we all showed off our drawings. We discussed the materials we used, and we even went out for drinks afterwards. So it's a great way of meeting new people and letting your guard down very quickly. I would change this actually from doing something weird to doing something creative, especially if you're not a creative person. I think doing something creative and expressing yourself just builds up a bit more of an inner confidence and excitement in doing that, in doing that thing. And at the end of these workshops or classes, you're always going to share your work and share feedback of other people's work. So it instantly becomes a very communal process. And it's a great chance to compliment people as well on their skills or their taste. So if you're going to pay for a workshop or a class, make it creative as well if you can. And hack number 2 is be the helper. Look, as somebody who's ran classes and workshops and events, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that finding people to volunteer or help you out with things is next to impossible. So be that guy or gal that puts their hands up and says, hey, do you need help with something? Because the people who run these events, they're almost always short on hands, and they would absolutely 100% appreciate the favor. And you'll be that person who's interested in the thing that they're interested in. And trust me, that will make you so likable, because who doesn't like having somebody help them out when they need it? Any event will do, but from my experience, things involving music or outdoors are things that need a lot of preparation and a lot of help usually, because things go wrong there all the time. So if you're going to offer a helping hand, these people will be so appreciative. And when you're working behind the scenes, half of the work of making these connections is done for you, because there's no icebreaker that's better than work. When you're working behind the scenes, there is planning, there's debate, there's this really authentic connection because you're both working towards the same goal. So you just connect really well, especially when things go wrong. When things go wrong in these events, you have to be really creative and try to find solutions. So when you're bouncing ideas off each other, you can get a really good idea of who the people around you are. And by the end, you're going to be really close to the people you worked with. And the kind of people that organize these events or get involved with these events are very social people. So there's a good chance that you'll hang out afterwards. Hack number 3, which is essentially just hack number 2 again, is volunteering. But instead of volunteering maybe for music events or hiking, volunteer for something like a soup kitchen or cleanup events. And if you're not on the register, maybe something to do with kids. Every decent sized city has volunteering opportunities, and you want to know what you'll have in common with the people who volunteer in these events if you decide to go. It's that you're all super cool, selfless people who've decided to devote their time to help other people. That's freaking awesome, and I love that. If you're the sort of person that would go out and volunteer, you're just a great person, and great people should be around great people. Out of all of these, I would say that volunteering is the best way to make deep connections with people really quickly. And let's say you don't make the friends that you thought you were going to make, or maybe you didn't connect to that many people. It's very fulfilling, and it can just help you become a better person anyways. The hack number 4 is the last one, the hardest one, and the most emotionally blackmailing of them all, which is be the planner. Instead of going to other people's shindigs and trying to get involved, be that person who sets something up. This is actually a lot easier than what you think it would be. All you have to do is go on Instagram, find people that you haven't seen in a while, or that are maybe from your work or class or whatever it is you're doing, and just set up a group chat. Just set up a group chat and say, okay, I'm planning this. It could be an escape room, could be a hike, whatever you like. If you invite like 10 people, I would say at least 3 or 4 will show up. Look, when you're the sort of person that plans it, you can't back out. If there's one person in a group who can't cancel, it's the person who planned it. So whatever you've planned and whenever you planned it, you're going to do it. You just have to do it. And don't worry about the plan not working out the way you thought it would. It rarely does. Things go wrong. Things change. So just plan something fun, something you want to do and you know other people will want to do. And make sure it's something where you can talk to each other. So nothing to do with cinema or something where you're just sitting and watching, okay? Something interactive. Maybe you could just like invite all your friends over and get naked for them to join you. That would be a good one. So if you can, take the plunge, be the planner. I know it's hard, but it's totally worth it. And that's it. That's the 4 hacks to forcing yourself out of loneliness. You know, for me, I have a system where I just make the first step, whether that's buying a ticket to that event or just messaging somebody and asking them if they need help. After you've made that first initial step, the rest of the stuff is pretty easy. You just follow along until eventually you just end up in that situation and you can't back out. And I get anxious too before meeting new people. I always think like, well, they like me, maybe they'll think I'm an idiot, blah, blah, blah. It's totally normal. And let's say you're an idiot or you're just not likable. Whose problem is that? That's not your problem. You're not the person who has to deal with you. It's other people's problem. So don't worry about it, honestly. You'll be grand. Just have fun with it. It's all good. You're the main character to your movie. You got this, dude. I believe in you. And I'll see you in the next video, which will be up in another 2 weeks. Until then, again, celebrate your weirdness, okay? And don't be safe. Be dangerous. Until next time.